Hi there, it's Paul here with the beginnerguitaristacademy.com, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to tune your guitar by ear. So if you would like to be able to tune your guitar without having to rely on a guitar tuner or having a guitar tuner nearby, then you'll want to watch this video because again I will be revealing how to tune your guitar by ear. Now there's actually three ways you can tune your guitar by ear. You've got the first kind of way where you can where you're using another instrument or like a reference instrument. So what I mean by that is you're using examples as like a piano or a pitch pipe or like a tuning fork or even another guitar as the reference point, and you're using, so you'd be playing, say if you have a piano handy nearby, you would play a note on the piano and you'd pick, you'd play the same note on the guitar and you'd be trying to match them up and trying to tune them by ear. So that's what I mean by using it like a reference instrument. The second way to tune your guitar is what's called harmonic tuning, and that's where you're playing harmonics on the guitar like that, like this. So that's harmonic tuning, is when you're playing harmonics on the guitar and you're getting them to match up, and it's not a bad way to do it. It does take a little bit of practice to get used to it. And the third way is to use what's called the 5th fret method, and that's exactly the way I'm going to teach, the method I'm going to teach you in this video, because it was the first way I learned how to tune my guitar by ear. So basically what we're doing is we're going to be using the way I guess it's called the 5th fret method, is we'll be playing in the 5th fret, and we'll be using that to tune the strings, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. The only kind of downside, or the biggest downside of this method of tuning your guitar, is you need to have at least one of your strings in tune, because you're tuning the guitar basically to itself. So if you have all your, say if all your strings are out of tune and then you start tuning it to itself, well, it's going to be in tune to itself, but it's still kind of going to be out of tune. So let's say, if my low E string is slightly flat, and I'm using that as the reference string, and this will make sense in a few moments, and I try and tune my guitar using the low E, which is out of tune, well, I'll tune the rest of the guitar to that low E, which is slightly flat, so the whole guitar is going to be flat. It'll be kind of in tune to itself, but it'll be slightly flat, and still won't sound any good. Unless if you want to play half a step down, so depending on what you want to do in your song. So that's kind of the biggest downside of this method, is in kind of any of those, and even harmonic tuning, because you need to have at least one of the strings in tune to do it. But it's great because even if you've got a few strings that are out of tune, but you've still got your low E string that sounds fine, it's in tune, well, then you can tune the rest of the guitar to it. So, and that's good because you don't need to have a tuner nearby. So it's not always that all your strings go out of tune. It may be just one or two, and then this comes in is really handy, this method, to be able to tune your guitar. So how do we do it? Well, what we want to do is place our first or second finger, or even your third finger. I use my sometimes my first or my second finger, so my index or my middle finger. You want to place it on the 5th string. Sorry, the 6th string, the low E string, in the 5th fret. Now what you want to do is pick the next string, so the A string or the 5th string, openly. So you're pressing down on the 6th string or the low E string, the big thick one, in the 5th fret, and then you're going to play the next string openly, and you kind of play them at the same time. And you can see that they're both pretty much in tune. And as you can see, I've got a tuner there, which you should be able to see on the screen. And they're saying that they're pretty much spot on. Now, so I'm going to show you how to do it, and we'll show you what to listen for. So that's what I'd be doing. Then I move down. So if they're in tune, I then move down. So onto the 5th string. So I'm playing the 5th string, I'm pressing down on the 5th string in the 5th fret, and I'm playing the 4th string. And they sound like they're in tune. They're not too bad. So I'm just moving down again. Now what happens is, for the G string or the 3rd string, I'm actually going to move to the 4th fret. It's a bit of a trick. So if I do in the 5th string, you can probably hear that it sounds off. So if I go to the 4th fret, that sounds fine. And then I go back to the 5th fret on the 2nd string. So I'm pressing down on the 2nd string in the 5th fret, and I'm always picking the string under it, or the thinner string that's under it openly. It's played without pressing down on it. So 4th fret for the third, for the G string, and they all sound fine. So let's use a bit of an example. Say my A string is flat. Now what you want to do is you want to tune down, so you don't want to tune above it. So if in doubt, just go flat, because you don't want to kind of go too high and I guess at the end of the day break the string. So my A string should be an A string, but it's flat, so you can see we've got a kind of a G sharp happening. You can see on the tuner here. So definitely out of tune. We want to get it back up to the A, which would sound something like this. So that's what we want, but we'll tune it back down. That'll do. So we're going to, I guess, again, press our finger on the 6th string or the low E string in the 5th fret. Now we want to pick that string and then pick the A string, which is the string out of tune. So we're using the string above as the reference point to tune the string underneath it. So, can you hear that? Now what you're listening for is these kind of wah-wah sounds, and you'll hear it when it's flat, it's go wah wah wah, which I know that kind of sounds stupid, but wah, it just kind of so that if you're flat, you'll hear that and then you get this wah wah sound as you get closer, but it'll be kind of a slower pace. What happens is when you go sharp or you're too high, kind of the wah wah will speed up and it will just go da da, and I'll show you as an example. But now what I want to do is play that. Now I want to adjust my A string up, and we want to try and get them as close as possible till they match. So it's still flat. So we're pretty close there. I think we're just a little high. So I'm going to check it. So you can see on the tuner, this is the A string, we're a bit high. So what we're going to do is move down. Then you can hear, I'll go up a bit higher so you can hear it. So this is too kind of sharp. So what I need is move back down. So sometimes you'll get that. That sounds pretty good. So I'll just check it on the tuner. And this is a great way when you're learning, or a great tip, is to actually have a tuner nearby. And it might not make sense because we're trying to tune the guitar by ear. But if you have a tuner nearby, what you can do is you can tune it by ear, try and get it to hear what it sounds like. So, you know, actually do this method while the guitar's in tune, hear what it sounds like when it's in tune, then do what I did and just drop one of the strings down. And then you'll hear what that sounds like, and then you'll pick it. And da-da, da-da. So we need to go up. And I think I just went too high. Sounds pretty good. We'll just check it. Perfect. So I was a tiny bit too high, but you know, you're at least able to get it, you know, close enough, which is good enough. So you know, if you want precise tuning, the more you practice, the better you do get as well. But you know, I think if I want real precise tuning, I certainly use a guitar tuner. But if I'm out and about and one of the strings is out of tune, I can do this and I can get, you know, really close. So what happens if the next string's down? So we'll drop that down. So you can just hear that. So again, I want to tune my 4th string or my D string. So how I do that is I go the string above, or the thicker string, which is the 5th string or the A string. I press down on the 5th string, and then I pick the string under it. So I'm pressing down to the 5th fret, and I'm picking that string while pressing down, and the string under it, the one we want to tune, I'm not pressing down. That sounds pretty good. I think it sounds pretty good. Let's check it. We're pretty much spot on. So hopefully this makes sense. So again, to tune the guitar using this method, it's called the 5th fret because you're pressing down on the 5th fret. So you're pressing down on the 5th fret and you're playing the string under it, or the thinner string that's under that string openly. So then we move down. And it's just the G string or the 3rd string you're playing in the 4th fret, not the 5th fret. So and you want them to ring out. Now a tip I like to use is if you've got a guitar that's got distortion, I actually find it easier to tune the guitar with distortion, especially with harmonic tuning, but we won't cover that in this video. But that can be a bit of a tip too, is if you've got a guitar, like an electric guitar that has distortion, for me, I find that easier. Some people prefer it, like we were doing before, with a cleaner sound. So hopefully that all makes sense. That is how you tune your guitar by ear using the 5th fret method. Now it does take a little bit of practice and a little bit of getting used to. That's just unfortunately just how it is. But what I recommend is using a guitar tuner like I've got there. And just practice doing it. So you just drop one string, you can drop it down a little bit or a heap, and then just keep tuning up. So tune up, don't tune down. So go flat and then tune up, and then just try and listen and hear those subtle shifts in kind of the sound, and you'll hear it when it kind of sounds together. It does take a bit of practice, but you do get used to it, and then you can check with a guitar tuner to see how you've gone. And then if you notice that you're flat, then try and listen to see and kind of problem solve and go, okay, so I was flat, well, according to the guitar tuner, so what does that sound like? And then get it to where it should be, and then go, oh, I noticed the difference. It does happen, even if you spend a couple of minutes a day practicing this, it doesn't take all that long until you'll be able to hear those differences and be able to tune your guitar by ear, which is a really handy skill to have. Now, if you liked this video, below this video you'll see a link you can click on. If you click on that link, you'll be able to get an ebook or my ebook called The Beginner's Guide to Playing the Guitar. In that ebook you're going to learn a whole bunch of things such as the basics of the guitar, tuning your guitar, so you'll get the steps to what we've covered today. You'll learn guitar chords and bar chords, and you'll learn to play some easy songs on the guitar. So if you'd like to get that ebook, again, click the link below or visit me at beginnerguitaristacademy.com/ebook. So www.beginnerguitaristacademy.com/ebook. Look, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it does help you in your endeavor to play the guitar, and hopefully your guitar will never be out of tune and you'll be able to do it by ear. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.